We told you before the break we were going to be speaking with the National Hurricane Center, and we do have Michael Brennan on the line here. Just really quickly want to read for you the latest on powerful Hurricane Rafael as it strengthened in the Gulf of Mexico after slamming into Cuba and knocking out power for millions as the major hurricane on Wednesday. And it's continuing to crawl westward slowly. But we did want to bring in the National Hurricane Director Center, Michael Brennan, to discuss this a bit more with us. Thank you for joining us. Michael, what is the latest on Rafael? What can you tell us?
Yeah, Rafael is still a pretty powerful hurricane this morning. We've had the Air Force Reserve hurricane hunters in there that found the maximum winds are about 110 miles per hour. The good news is it's a relatively small storm and it's out away from land at the moment. It's a couple hundred miles to the north of the Yucatan Peninsula right now, moving west at about 9 miles per hour. And the good news is it's going to basically slow down and kind of stall out here over the west central Gulf of Mexico here through the weekend and gradually weaken from a hurricane down to a tropical storm. And then as it loses its tropical characteristics, it's start to move a little more southwestward as we get into the early to middle portions of next week.
All right, so you did just talk about where the track of this is going. Can we talk about what impacts this will have on the United States, if any?
Yeah, the biggest impacts we're going to see is going to be from dangerous surf and rip current conditions along most of the coastline of the Gulf of Mexico. The hurricane is churning up a lot of powerful big waves, and those waves move out away from the center of the storm, and it's going to be sitting here. So those waves are going to continue to move out towards the beaches. We're not expecting any direct wind or rainfall impacts, but it's just a good reminder that everywhere from the west coast of Florida up through Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, over to Texas, down to Mexico, you're going to want to be safe if you're going out to the beach. Even if it's a nice day, you can still have dangerous ocean conditions, and we tend to lose a lot of people to surf and rip current fatalities in storms like this where the storm is far away from land and it's otherwise a nice day to be at the ocean.
And we were just saying here that this has already impacted millions in Cuba, but is the worst over, so to speak, or what else can we still expect?
Yeah, in terms of direct impacts, I think the worst that we've seen from Rafael is over. The system is going to steadily, if not rapidly, weaken over the next several days, becoming a tropical storm and then weakening to a remnant low by the time we get to early next week. Again, it's going to stay far enough offshore. We're not expecting any direct wind or rainfall impacts anywhere along the Gulf Coast. It's just those surf and rip currents we got to look out for.
Really quickly, while I have you on the line, we're coming to the end of hurricane season here, but when we are in hurricane season, what are the ingredients, so to speak, that allows this to become, when we see all these hurricanes happening, what is it about that time of the year?
Well, as we get late into hurricane season, we really start to focus in on this area near the northwestern Caribbean in November is really where we're most likely to see storms form. The water here still is very warm. This area is still far enough south that the strong upper level winds with the autumn weather pattern don't really reach down this far quite yet. So this is the area where we can tend to see storms form, and they can end up coming northward or even northeastward out towards the Caribbean islands or towards Florida or the Gulf of Mexico. So it's again just the area we have to watch. Unfortunately, storms that form in this area do tend to affect land, and so we've still got a few weeks of hurricane season left. So folks, especially across the Caribbean, need to keep an eye out as we go through the next few weeks.